I felt that I have to be very good at what I do in order to say things I want to say. He empowered me so much. Whenever I see a video of him, read his story or listen to his sayings, his philosophy, it just empower me to push through, don't compromise.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, if anything my father would want for you, it's for you to be yourself 100%. You know?
That is so powerful.
That is all that he wanted for anybody. And your accent is beautiful and your accent is sexy because it's you. Because you're those things, right?
Hi guys, I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome back to Tiger Milf podcast. Today, I have such an amazing guest. I feel like if I die today, I'll die with a smile on my face, with all my teeth showed, because that's the only money I got, my veneers. My husband took everything. Today is very special. Today is why I fought so hard. I mean, as a little Chinese girl, my dream is coming true. She is such an icon. She's an amazing martial artist, actress, producer, philanthropist. Are you ready for your guest, the one, the only, Shannon Lee?
Woo!
Shannon,
Thank you.
I'm so happy you are here. I remember at the Asian Society, and you brought all of your cast and crew for Warrior, and you shared your story, how you made it into a reality. So it's streaming on Netflix now.
It's streaming on Netflix. It's also streaming on Max still.
Nice.
So it's on both.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And everybody should watch it.
Everybody should watch it. We were getting season 4.
Don't know yet.
Yeah, if everybody watch it, is going to more likely.
Exactly. Watch it and keep demanding of Netflix that they give us a season 4.
It's actually a very sexy show.
It is. Yeah, it's a very sexy
just
show.
Really sexy, beautiful, rich in culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, you know, it's an American story. It's a Chinese American story. And it's part of our history here in this country. And it's a part of the history that a lot of people don't know about. You know, it takes place in the 19th century, right before, during the historic time of the Tang Wars in San Francisco, Chinatown, which was a real thing. And then also right before the Chinese Exclusion Act was enacted into law, which, you know, I don't know how many times I've told people, oh, this is my show. It takes place right before the Chinese Exclusion Act. And they say, what's the Chinese Exclusion Act? I've never heard of that.
We are the only race the government actually had an act of exclusion towards the Chinese. That's why when the Asian hate happened, people were like, oh, you guys just getting hate today. I'm like, no. We got hate, that all of the hate back, in the 1900s.
Yes, definitely. It was like, thanks for building the railroads. Now get out.
Yes. Yes. And they actually had a law to not allow the railway workers' wife to come to America, so they don't repopulate in America. So the Chinese man has to send the money home. They eventually have to go home.
Exactly. They had something called the Page Act, which outlawed Chinese women from coming over because they didn't want the Chinese men to settle in the United States. They wanted them to go back, even though, interestingly, the U.S. went to China and advertised for workers there and asked them to come to help build the railroads. But then as soon as the railroads were finished, they didn't want them to stay. And so the Chinese are the only group of people where there has been a federal law enacted where they were not allowed to immigrate to the United States. They were not allowed to own property, which is why these Chinatowns, were these incorporated areas where the Chinese were forced to live. They were not allowed to live outside of the boundaries of the Chinatowns.
Wow. I feel like more people should know that.
Yeah.
And they actually don't know that.
Yeah, and they should watch some Chinese people kick ass while knowing that.
Yeah, yes. I think we just work too hard. Yeah. Chinese people work so hard. Yeah. They like you to work there, but they don't want you to enjoy the fruit of your hard labor.
Totally.
Yeah, that is really sad.
Very sad, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I was in San Francisco, I played San Jose. Was it San Jose? And then we drove down to San Francisco, and I was I went to visit the place, the plaza when we discovered gold, that plaza, and then I walked down to see Bruce Lee's apartment.
Oh,
yes,
yeah. Right.
That was his apartment when he lived in San Francisco.
Yeah, he was born in San Francisco in 1940. And then when he came back to the United States when he was 18, he came through San Francisco again. And he lived in San Francisco for a short period of time before making his way to Seattle.
I remember I watched one of the videos of his auditioning video when he was very young and before he was Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. But the beauty about it is when Bruce Lee auditioned, he was already Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And that's the legend that's spirit. I mean, he has a lot of philosophies that he teaches, and I follow the account, Bruce Lee's account, that we have a lot of things, and most of my friends, they just they worship him because he teaches harmony and the way of living.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the video of him auditioning. It just it empowers me so much. Whenever I feel bad, I just watch it and find it's very powerful.
It is. There's something about his energy that really jumps off the screen, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it energizes you. You know,
yeah.
And if there's just something not only energizing and motivating and exciting, but also there's something really true and really authentic.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you feel like anything is possible.
Yes, I that's how I remember when I tried to move to LA, try to become an actress. I gave myself a stage name. I never used it. It's called Kala Lee. Kala Lily is my mom's favorite flower, and her last name is Lee, to pay tribute to Bruce Lee. I never used it because I don't know why I didn't. I just was very insecure about it because it's such a big name. Because he's the dragon and the icon, the god. But watching him really empowers me. I mean, watching him in Enter the Dragon, I met Fred Weintraub.
Oh,
actually, his wife and him, and when they were gonna remake Enter the Dragon,
right?
And I had a meeting with them, and he was talking about how much he loves Bruce Lee, and one was the best thing he ever did is having him to be the lead, because he refused to portray Chinese American in any way that is negative.
Yeah,
and he's undeniable.
Yeah.
He truly is. And Into the Dragon was one of the movies Fred Weintraub said is the best thing he ever did in his life.
I would agree.
Yes, I really agree that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think the thing about my father is that, he was a child actor in Hong Kong. He was in 20 films as a child. But when he came to the United States, he had no interest in or desire to be an actor. He was going to open martial arts schools. That's what he was going to do. And he started to do that. But then, as fate would have it, he was discovered by Hollywood while he was demonstrating martial arts. But then he started to see that Hollywood and mass media, was a really great way to share his message to a wider audience. But in order to do that and do it in the way of really representing the truth of his culture and who he was as a human being, he couldn't compromise. He couldn't take roles that were, stereotypical or demeaning in any way if he wanted to impress upon the audiences something real of who he was as a Chinese man. And so, which was very hard to do. It meant that there weren't that many roles, especially back then. Even now there are still some stereotyped roles, but back then, forget it.
Yeah.
And so he fought very, very hard for that authentic portrayal.
Yes, I remember Green Hornet, he should be Green Hornet, but they want him to play something else that is completely crazy. That's, yeah. Nobody is him. Even he plays some sidekick, he's gonna make the main character look stupid because he is the star. He commands the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally.
It's just so wonderful.
Yeah.
I saw a photo of him carrying you when you were a baby. It's just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. My mom always tells this story. She said, when they had my brother, Chinese man, firstborn son, very proud, right? And then when they were going to have another baby, because back then nobody found out the sex of the baby before they were born. And he was like, oh, okay, you have another son. That would be good. So 2 sons. And then I was born and I was a girl. And she said, oh my God, you had him wrapped around your little finger. He became an instant dad girl,
Yeah. In Chinese, we say daughter is 爸爸的贴心小棉袄, like a little warm pocket in the winter. That's a daughter is the closest to the father's heart.
Oh.
Also, daughter take after the father's character more, and the son look more like the mother.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I mean, Chinese say it. That's you have his eyes, obviously. Yes.
Okay.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
If you say so.
Yes. So when you were little, did he what is like the father-daughter time that you guys?
Yeah,
activities?
I mean, so he died when I was very young. I was 4. But I do remember him. I remember us playing together. I remember visiting him on set when he would be filming. I remember a house in Hong Kong. But the thing that I always say that I remember the most and like the most profoundly is the feeling of him, I mean, when you're that young, your world is encountered through your senses because, your brain isn't all the way formed and logic and, all that sort of stuff. You can speak as much as a toddler can speak, but you don't have the maturity, right, of the logical, analytical brain and all that sort of thing. So everything is through your senses. And so for years when I was growing up, after he died, I thought, why do I feel like I know him so intimately and so well when I can't remember that much, right? And it took me a really long time until I met somebody else who had lost their father at a really young age. And we were talking and I said, yeah, I have this sense of him. Like I know who he was. I know what he feels like. And he said, oh yeah, that's the memory I have of my father too. And I was like, oh, it's a memory. It's a sense memory.
Yeah. It's a sense memory.
Yeah. And so I remember how he made me feel. And, I mean, he was so good at being present and he was so full of energy and
he's so
vibrant.
Big.
Oh, yeah.
He's so big. And I feel like when I first time I met you, I didn't get to talk to you. I think it was at Asian Society. And I remembered your energy that I felt I felt empowered by you, your energy. And I also know how hard it was for you to make Warrior. It took you a decade, right? When you you knew that was he wrote something? Did you know it when you were young, or you discovered later?
I always knew the story. So my father created the treatment, the story idea for the show Warrior that is now on Netflix and Max. Back in the 60s. I mean, we would
ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, and we would joke. We were like, "Oh, it's a 50-year development period," because season 1 debuted in 2019. He was working on it like in 1969-ish and before. So that's 50 years. It's 50 years,
half a century in the making.
Yeah,
and his daughter made it happen.
Yes, with help from many, many people. But, I really have to. So it's a story I always knew about. I always knew my father had created a TV show that he pitched that they said that he couldn't be in. And, they also considered him for Kung Fu. the TV show Kung Fu, that they ended up casting a white person to play a Chinese person. And because they told my father that he couldn't star in a TV show because he was Chinese.
Yeah.
And so he didn't. And in a way, I'm glad, because he went on to do something much bigger, right? But this idea stayed in our family archive for years and years. And then when I took over in 2000 to look after my father's legacy, I had always heard about it. But as I was going through all the materials, I found it. And I was like, oh, here it is. But I mean, at this point, I hadn't produced anything. There were many other things I needed to focus on. But over time, I got to know Justin Lin. Like, we had run into each other here and there. And he called me up one day and he said, hey, I always heard the story that your dad created a TV show. Is that true? And I said, yeah, it is actually. And he said, you wouldn't happen to have it, would you? Yeah, I have it right here in this box.
He wrote it?
He wrote it.
Oh my goodness.
We had many typed and handwritten notes and things. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And so because of Justin Lin and who Justin Lin is, and he had a production company and everything, we partnered with him and we were able to get it made.
How long did it take you? 2010, 2009?
It took us about 5 years to get the show made from the time that,
I think it's one of the first majority all Asian lead cast in a period piece, focusing on Chinese Americans.
Yes,
because nobody want to hear our story, and then when they hear that, they got so fascinated. Oh my God, that is fascinating. We have very deep culture. Very deep culture.
Deep. I mean, going back centuries and centuries.
A lot of like people are trying to the Zen, the whatever is confuse them. All of the culture we grew up with. Yes, he when you were young, did you learn a lot about like 45 经, like the Confucianism, the Taoism?
Not a little bit. I mean, my father was very into it.
Yeah, he actually made it international because of he embodies the Chinese culture and he's so proud of it, and he made it. You know, it's Bruce Lee, it's Muhammad Ali, that they transcend culture, race, and boundaries in every way. Totally. You don't think Bruce Lee as a Chinese man. He is Bruce Lee. Right. He happened to be Chinese.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's really true. And it's funny because I'll say to somebody, you know, like, name the character, the name of the character that he played in any of his movies. And the only name that comes to mind is Bruce Lee. You know,
it's all him.
It's all him.
That's authentic energy he has.
I mean, my father was extremely self-educated. He loved to read. And actually, I sent his book collection up to the Wing Luke Museum in Seattle a couple of years ago. It's over 2,800 books.
Wow. And
books on Taoism, you know, and books on Confucianism and Zen. But also books by Alan Watts and Krishnamurti. And of course, books on all kinds of combat and martial arts and training and acting and photography and poetry.
Oh, I love poetry too.
Yeah. He loved poetry. He wrote poetry.
That's amazing. I wrote poetry since I was a little girl, and so now I'm a comedian. Writing is just like my best friend. I'm so I'm so good at expressing my feelings with my pen. So it's so easy for me to write, even though it's my second language in English. But I just enjoy it. It's just the only one tool I had. It's my books and my writing and my poetry. So playing with words, it just excites me.
Oh, that's awesome! I love it.
Thank you.
I love to write also.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So so you were an actress when you were young.
I tried.
You did everything. You did everything so amazingly.
I've done many things in my life. None of them, well, I wouldn't say none of them super well, but
you are so humble. It's so funny you said that.
I mean,
that's what Bruce Lee would have said. That was okay. It's just simply the best, but it was okay.
You know, I like to try different things. And my favorite thing to be is creative. And whether I'm creating my day, whether I'm creating who I am, whether I'm creating, you know, a book or a a film and TV project or an arts and craft project or my outfit or, whatever. I love to be creative. And so because of that, I also love to learn how to do new things and things that interest me. So I'll just try stuff and, and figure it out. And then if I figure out, I don't really like this or it's not for me, then that's fine. But just having those experiences, I mean, I think about my life and I have been an actress. I've been an action star. I've been a singer. I've been in a band. I've sung the national anthem for sports teams. I've produced film and TV. I've written for film. I've written a book. I'm working on a novel. I host 2 podcasts. I mean, I'm a mom. So like, it's just fun for me to be able to.
I love that.
Do whatever.
It just, that is just being, creating is what excites you and learning new things.
Yeah.
That is the best because when you are creating, it produces endorphin, make you happy. That's like the happy energy you have.
Yeah.
And like you have, you have so much courage. You have so much courage, and I can just think about all of the exciting things you did and how good you are at it, and how multi-talented you are. A writer, a martial artist, a singer. All of the talents you have on one person.
Well, thank you. I mean, like I said, I'm not, a master in any one lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy that and, working on myself and personal growth and spiritual practice and, all that.
So how does your daughter remembers Bruce? Like how would she? Because how old is she?
She's 21.
So she's Gen Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would she really realize that who he really is? Like how iconic he is? Because sometimes when you are, it's your grandpa. This is just my grandpa. But then you're like, what? What? And then how many people he inspired is for her. But for you wouldn't know because our age we know who he is like in every being. But for her age, because he's Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee. It's just Jesus. It's it's not like the young generation don't know well. Yeah, but they would know. Would she actually? Hey, mom, do you know my grandpa was Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee. Would that happen to you? Because she's Gen Z.
Yeah,
they are funny. Yeah.
She's always so. My daughter and I are very close, and she's my only child, and I just took her with me everywhere. That's so when I would travel for work or go to an event, or do a Bruce Lee thing or do anything, she would just come with me. And so I think she got pretty quickly like, oh, a lot of people really like my grandfather. She calls him her gong gong. Right?
Gong gong, 好可愛，好可愛，公公.
And so I think she was like, oh, okay. And then it's always something you're in relationship with over time, right? Because at one point, when she was like, I don't know, 7 or 8, she'd go up to people. Oh, do you know who Bruce Lee is? Oh, he is my grandfather. And I'd be like, no.
It's so cute.
It's very cute. And I'm glad she's proud. But also, I'm like, no. Like, just be yourself. Just let people get to know you. And then at some point, if they find out that you're Bruce Lee's granddaughter, then great, but don't lead with that.
It's like when we watch Joy Luck Club, the mom my daughter has a trophy. She's number 1 at the piano class, walking around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and she's worked for my company, and she's volunteered for the foundation at our kids camps, and she's been around it her whole life. So she's got an idea of what it is. But I think she also has a really profound heart connection to her gongong and to her uncle Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one of the most beautiful thing for a mother is to spend time with the children. Your work is so busy, and I'm learning a lot, and with people like you, so successful, I look up to in every way, not just with your career, also as a mother. Having a close relationship with your daughter is something that is so remarkable. And I tour a lot on the road, and learning to take the children with me creatively, just spending time with them is the best thing.
Yeah.
To make them confident and a lot of self-love, because you can give them money, give them things, but it doesn't really work. They being loved by you is you spend time with them.
Yeah,
that's how they can be confident.
100%. I mean, I feel like that's something that my dad gave to me, which was his full attention. It doesn't mean he was with me every second of every day. He certainly wasn't, because he was filming and he was working and training and doing all sorts of things. But when he was with me, he was really with me. He was very present. And that is what kids crave. They crave your attention. So when they have your full attention, like that is love.
They thrive.
Yeah, they thrive in it. Exactly.
It's the air and the rain and the soil.
Exactly.
I love is the full attention.
Yeah. And
it's so important.
I mean, traveling with my daughter, also travel is an amazing education and experience.
Yeah, traveling is so important. The people who are being racist and full of hate, they don't have a passport. They've never seen other people. Like the world is diverse. We have all kind of culture and everything.
Yeah, it connects you to so many different people, so many different ways of living, and so many different cultures. So that in itself is also a beautiful gift.
It's very lucky to have an older brother, though. Yeah. Like when you were a little girl, having an older brother. Yeah. My sister, my daughter is 3, my son's 5. Okay. So they are 2-year difference. You guys are how many years?
4 years.
4 years. That's not too much. Yeah. But he's like, he protects you, huh?
Yes, he was definitely, I mean, in good older brother fashion, when we were young, he was also my torturer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they think you are annoying. They think they are so much cooler when they are only like 4 years older than you. Yeah. I was very mad at my sister when I tutored her. She's bad. I just said, you're just so stupid.
Yeah. So my brother was very good at practical jokes and all sorts of stuff. But when I was in trouble or when I needed help, he was right there.
That's so beautiful.
He very much considered himself to be my protector.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, how's your mom?
My mom is good. My mom is 79 now, and my mom is so active. My mom works out more than I do. My mom is like, she loves to work out. She's adventurous. She loves to travel. She loves to go places. So
that's amazing. That's so amazing.
So she's got a lot of energy.
that's great. That's great. They I think when they work out and they just have a lot of energy. Yeah, it's really great.
And she's remarried. She remarried to a man named Bruce. Yes, he's not Chinese, but his name is Bruce.
Wow.
And they've been married for 33 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long marriage.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So she's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What new project are you working on?
What new project? I've got so many projects. So,
what you are most excited to share, if it's okay to share?
Sure. I'm producing a biopic on my father.
Wow.
With Sony.
This is exciting.
With Ang Lee as the...
Ang Lee, okay.
Yes.
That is fabulous.
Yeah.
Was it harder for you guys to find the lead?
So the lead is Ang's son.
Actually,
yeah, Mason.
I saw his photo.
Mason.
He resembles.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, I mean, that's, of course, we're still working. It's still in development, but that's the plan. This is the plan.
Yeah, Ang Lee. I always say I'll never be nude, but for Ang Lee movie, I'll be naked for free because I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, if I can tell my granddaughter, I was hotter than you.
That's funny. Yeah. So I have that. I have an animated series I'm working on.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk to you about some ideas I have about. You are also a mom, and I don't feel like there's a lot of great bilingual children book, Chinese and English bilingual children book. I was thinking about you should write something with Bruce Lee's philosophy, but in English and Chinese in a way that is easier for children to understand. Because I was trying to buy them on Amazon. They don't have good books and they are super expensive. The translation is not really good. I felt like what can empower young Chinese American children than Bruce Lee's animated children's book of him.
Yeah. So do you write children's books?
I am working on writing children's book. I'm a comedian. I want to do something funny, but I just want to talk to you that you would make the thing he would talk to you about Brandon when you were little. That would be so empowering because those philosophies they can use for life. Yeah. All of the philosophies Bruce Lee teach, if you actually, I got very lucky with Confucianism. My grandpa is a scholar with Confucianism and Taoism, and he taught me so many things. When I was a little girl, I just learned how to speak. I don't understand what it means, but then slowly I grew up, I grew older when I'm in a situation that's very difficult, and then some Confucius things like it come up, some poetries, it come up, help me to understand things. It's all built inside of me, and I just felt that. It's very important for Chinese American kids to touch their roots.
Sure.
There's nothing more powerful than Bruce Lee's philosophy.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember I was having a meeting in China. This is several years ago now. And I was talking to somebody who was interested in doing a project in China. And they said, well, we think that the two most famous Chinese people outside of China in the world are Confucius and Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, I guess.
And Bruce Lee, he embodied Confucianism and all of the culture, and he was able to express them in his own way that people understand them more because it's from him. And people love Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is so powerful. His energy empowers you, lifts you up.
Yeah, 100%. And I say that all the time. Like, as you can imagine, I have many Bruce Lee t-shirts. This doesn't have a picture of him on it.
I'm going to get one from you, Bruce Lee t-shirts.
Oh, I will give you some for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But I wear them because I have a lot of them, and I'll be wearing them like someplace at the airport or when I'm traveling or whatever. And just time and time again, people are like, oh, Bruce Lee. I love your t-shirt. I love Bruce Lee. It just, like you said, it lifts them up. Like people see his image or they hear his name and they get like excited and invigorated by it.
My friend Godfrey, he's a African-American comedian, a legendary comedian. He loves Bruce Lee so much. He told me when he was a young boy in Chicago, he's Nigerian, so he has afro hair, curly hair. He tried to pull his hair straighter so it can be silky. Like Bruce Lee's hair, that's how how powerful it is that little black kid from Chicago wanted to have Bruce Lee hair because they don't see, like they really don't see color or race. They see the superhero that empowers them. Like that superhero has straight hair, silky hair.
Yeah, well, and he was a person of color and he uplifted a lot of people of color, right? And he uplifted a lot of people, period. And it was more through his energy and like what he brought forward and what he was able to accomplish and what he could do with his body and what he could say, his wisdom. Oh, his wisdom.
All of the books. Yeah. All of the books he studied. He was able, I think, the Bruce Lee spirit is also that the knowledge. Yeah. He embodies and he 传教, he delivers to people, uplifting people, be like water.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing I say about his philosophy is that it's applied philosophy. He's not just talking about it. he's living it.
Yeah, he lives it.
Yeah.
And he was able to accomplish things that when he wanted to, he wasn't even trying to be a movie star when he came to America.
Right.
But they discovered him and he realized the power of media.
Yeah.
That people can see somebody like him, a superhero that is a Chinese American man. It empowers Chinese American people, Asian people, but also at the same time, actually, he's such a superhero. People like it reduced the hate towards Chinese Asian Americans because having that kind of superhero that is Chinese American.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. 100%. Well, so you wanna work on a children's book together?
I do. I really want to.
Okay.
I mean, he's one of my biggest heroes. I always say, like I said, that my dream of my life is to become the Bruce Lee of comedy. That's what I work towards for the rest of my life. I'm a Chinese woman. I'm gonna live like 300 years old. So that's the direction I'm working on. The thing when I say Bruce Lee of comedy is that no compromise. That I compromise nothing, and you won't accept me. I'm just gonna keep working to become undeniable. So you have to understand that what I have to say is because I don't want to please anybody because they see an Asian woman just talk about sex all day. You know, that's what is gonna get. No, I want to talk about racism. I want to talk about culture, different Chinese culture, our parenting, different. I want to talk about everything. I just wanted to be a good comedian who happened to be a Chinese woman with an accent.
Yeah,
and that's what. He empowers me because when I started, there's no female comedian with an accent that it really made it big. I love Margaret, and she's Korean American who was born in San Francisco. It was so like back in the days, there's people just literally have a racist character of a racist railway worker person to use her flyer because they've never seen somebody like her. They don't even acknowledge her as a woman or a man, just like this Asian person. That it was so crazy.
Yeah,
and she has opened the doors in comedy, and now
for sure
we got Ali Wong. And I'm the first woman who actually have an accent, who's a first generation immigrant. Bruce Lee was he grew up in Hong Kong, and he came here, and back then they just won't let him be Bruce Lee, and he just said, I am him, and that's what's gonna happen.
Well, and I'll tell you, he used to get one of the reasons that they wouldn't let him have very many lines, or definitely wouldn't let him be a lead in a TV show in America, is because he had an accent. Yes, and also he steals the thunders. Well, having accent, that's what I think, what Bruce Lee's legacy, one of that is that his accent, exactly, he's a Chinese American man that empowers so many. And also people love him when they see somebody with a Chinese accent, they're like, you guys are great. Bruce Lee is your people. Yeah. And that's why I tried to remove my accent, but I couldn't. I came here when I was 19, 18 years old. My accent is here to stay. And a lot of Chinese American who, like our older generation people, they moved here when they are older. They still have their accent. Sure. And people, when they see like a French accent, English accent, they think it's sexy and beautiful. When they see our accent, there's a lot of hate towards our accent, the Chinese accent. They hate it. They think we don't belong here. And I felt that I have to be very good at what I do in order to say things I want to say. He empowered me so much. Whenever I see a video of him, read his story or listen to his sayings, his philosophy, it just empower me to push through, don't compromise. Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, if anything my father would want for you, it's for you to be yourself 100%. You know? That is so powerful. That is all that he wanted for anybody. And your accent is beautiful and your accent is sexy because it's you. Because you're those things, right? Yes. This is so powerful because I struggled so hard when I started comedy in 1 month, but I have the Chinese work ethic. So the first month, I bought a comedy club on Melrose, so I can host 10 mics a day. I work like an athlete because that's what Bruce Lee would teach you. Like the more you do it, that's how you you have to repeat in order for you to do anything that's excellent. Repetition is the foundation
for excellence. And I started this comedy club, and I got a lot of notes. People tell me, don't look pretty on stage. Comedians are, you guys are you just wear overall, dress down. Don't look pretty. Don't look like a pretty girl. But I want to be a pretty girl. I want to look. I want to look
You
like
wanna
a beautiful
be
Chinese woman.
yourself.
Yeah, I like to. I always look pretty. I never dress down.
Yeah.
And I was born in the one-child policy, and they didn't really want me. And my mom kept me, but they make sure I know that your life, we give you your life. Like you. That's why I love to look pretty. And I also was told, like, you are too aggressive. You are too intense. Like when you speak, just like tone it down a little bit. Just you scare people away when you're on stage.
I've been told that too, by the way.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I think also because we are like Asian women, also half Asian. They
and also because we're women, and I tend to be very direct.
Me too.
But not angrily, just direct. Like right now, I'm being very direct with you, just talking literally with this tone of voice. And I've had people say, you have to be more soft. You have to be more gentle when you speak. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. What?
Don't be so emotional. I'm like, who's being emotional?
Yes, you are triggered by me being confident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the moment I found my voice is I always try to please people, try to not be too aggressive, because I don't know what is the formula. I don't think there is a formula. There wasn't. Actually, I can't. They tell me you have to be more like Ali Wang. I said she is Ali Wang. I don't want to be a knocked off version of the fake Ali Wang, because I will never be her. I won't have her spirit and her story and her energy and whatever she represents.
It's impossible for you to be her.
Yeah,
she's already doing it.
Yeah. I can't be a fake, because they always like copy somebody who already made it.
Yeah.
And you find, I don't want to copy her. It's not true to me. And I'm on stage, I try to be more gentle, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I knew it didn't work because it didn't.
Yeah.
Then one day, I've been standing outside the Laugh Factory doing the audition mic for a year. I was just they picked me to basically compete for the search of the funniest female comedian. I knew they won't pick me. I remember I went to the bar. I had one IPA and I had one more, and I told myself, I said, we're gonna go on stage and be me this time. Just be me, and then I leave because they don't want me. I went on stage. I was me 100%. And it was one of the best set I ever had at that time. And after that, I walked out. I had the biggest laughter ever because I got so much love from the audience. I started improvising things I've never said before because I was afraid to say them. And then I left. The manager of the Laugh Factory ran after me. It's like, do you want to do our show on Thursday? I realized that I just become a paid regular. The moment I decided myself. So it wasn't me not being talented. It was me was afraid of being myself. That I was less. I can't be creative. I can't be creating anything when I'm being 2% of me.
Totally. I mean, my father talked about this all the time. He said the same thing about himself when he did Green Hornet. He hated his performance in that show because he felt like he was just trying to do a good job and do what they asked him to do and not be himself, like never actually really fully allow himself to be himself. And he said about his performance, he said, I would look around and see all these creative people in the room and I was the only robot there. And so he didn't like that time. And then he has a quote, exactly what you're talking about, where he said, don't go out and find a successful personality and try to imitate that. But start from the very root of your being and ask yourself, how can I be me? That is what you do.
Wow.
And you cultivate that.
I'm going to take this and become the biggest star I can become. And I'll be so grateful. You have a snake ring.
I do.
Are you a snake?
I'm not a snake.
I love snake rings.
Oh, I just love this ring and I love snakes. So
snakes are very beautiful, sexy creature.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I have something for you, actually.
You do?
Yes. I have this fan that this is, I just want to give to you because summer is coming.
It is coming.
This is so powerful. Like it just go all the way. It blows.
Okay, so if I want to get my
Beyonce hair, try it.
Okay, here we go.
So it's summer because we wanted to knock sweat for. That's so sexy. Yes. Oh my God, that's the Beyonce hair. Yes. So this is for you.
Oh my
Just
gosh,
it's very
thank
small and
you.
powerful, but the fan, we need a fan in the summer. As a hot girl summer is coming,
Oh,
we need a fan
yeah,
just
it is
for you
gonna be
to.
warm. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, thank you.
Yes. This is also good. I have it in the car.
Yes.
I'm doing the biggest TikTok streaming with products with TikTok, so I pick brands I like and just like
Yeah,
use
go for
them
it.
and
It's great. Stay hydrated.
stay hydrated, be
It's
sexy.
important.
I feel like my life has been changed after getting the message from you to confirm me to continue with my journey. Thank you for the blessing.
Please
Shannon.
continue with your journey.
Really, and give me the knowledge that I need. I really appreciate that.
The world needs you.
The world. Yes. Thank you.
We need you to be you.
Yes. Maybe we can do the children's book.
You never know.
Bilingual. Yeah.
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 Talk about it.
Yes.
Well,
That's
I
it.
feel bad I didn't bring you a present.
Oh, no worries. You telling me this message is the biggest present I can ever have.
Well,
it empowers me so much,
I'm going to send you some Bruce Lee stuff.
Oh, I'm wearing them all day.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Where
right.
can we find you on social media and follow you?
So I'm on Instagram at the real Shannon Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I also manage the Bruce Lee accounts. So all of the Bruce Lee accounts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. Also, I manage the Brandon Lee account on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I actually launched my own website recently called leewaymedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
And my own personal work is there. And I started a new super short form podcast called A Little Leeway.
Amazing.
That you can find. I also do the Bruce Lee podcast, so you can find that too.
Amazing.
And then there's the Bruce Lee Foundation, which is our 501c3 public charity where we do museum exhibits and I do talks and we do kids camps, and that's at bruceleefoundation.org.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and brucelee.com.
Where can we buy the Bruce Lee merch?
brucelee.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm working with TikTok. Maybe I'll do a Bruce Lee merch streaming with TikTok directly.
Great.
We can, for an event in the future, maybe.
Okay.
That'll be fun. I'll just get all the merch and sell them with TikTok.
I
shop,
don't know how
maybe.
any of that works, so
You don't need to. You just
okay.
You just blast it, and TikTok is with them. I think it'll be great for people to the people are gonna love them so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh,
amazing
thanks
to
for
have
having
you.
me here.
Thank you, Shannon.
I want to come hear some of your comedy. You have to let me know when you're performing.
Oh, I do Netflix a joke festival Thursday, May 2nd.
Okay.
But I have a residency at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Oh, okay.
I have Margaret Cho joining a show every month when she's in town. She's doing it on June with me.
In June?
Yes.
Oh.
Every month I have like 3 shows at the Ice House.
Let me know. I'm going to be out of town for a good part of May, but let me know when June's happening.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we'll hang out.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you hung out with Margaret Cho yet?
I have never
Oh my
met
God.
her. No.
You guys are going to love each other.
Okay. Awesome. I can't
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was great.